Waiting for Twitch. Twitch is all set. Waiting for YouTube. YouTube is all set. Waiting for Facebook. Facebook is all set. Let me start the timer.
Richard.
Okay, you are on the air.
Peace and love. Welcome to Talking Peace. I'm your host, Deidra EmEl, Executive Director of the Western New York Peace Center. And today our guest is Kareema Morris and Talia Rodriquez. And I'm so happy to have them on with us today. I am so excited. Our topic for today is why we march. As you all know, it is Women's History Month, but of course, we need to learn about women in our history and in our current events every day. And so before we get started, let us just give thanks. In many indigenous cultures and African cultures, we always give thanks before, we come together and as we start to hopefully call in the positivity and the goodness, of the universe. So we just like to give thanks, for the trees, for the living creatures, for the birds of the air, for the waters and the fish and the sea creatures, for our worms, for our living creatures that are coming alive this spring. We'd like to give thanks for our bees. With our bees, we would not be able to eat. We love to give thanks just for the oxygen that we breathe, for the earth being able to just cleanse itself if we just stay out of its way. We just give thanks for the love that people still have, even in this world of hatred and violence and so on. There is still love. There is still positivity. There is still pure light. And we are calling that light in our fellowship tonight. And we just say, we just give thanks and blessing and Ashe, amen, and Yahweh. That's it. So Ashe is just, so be it, amen. People understand that. And Yahweh is another, and no is another way of saying the same thing in our indigenous Haudenosaunee brothers and sisters. So welcome, Talia and Kareema. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
So I don't think these ladies need any introduction, but I do want to just give Kareema some big ups. We just found out that she is the New York State's Women of the Year, USA Today's New York State Woman of the Year. Congratulations, Kareema.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you have been, she's been having gala after gala the last 2 months. Okay, surprise galas and everything, but she is so worth it. You're so deserving.
Thank you.
You have been on the ground. Every time I'm calling, talking to you, you just people are calling you and connecting with you, and you just like, okay, what do I do next? So you're just on the ground, and people trust you. And I think you're doing a wonderful work. So congratulations again and welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And Miss Talia Rodriquez, oh my goodness, Buffalo State Community Coordinator. And you got to help me with all the other officiates.
Oh, well, I think, yeah, like you said, my most important role today is one, coordinator, and two, fan of Kareema. Kareema, I am so proud. I know that Deidra said that you're representing the entire state, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So cool. I'm so excited to be here. Deidra, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I'm so proud. I'm just really proud to call both of these women, my friends and co-workers. One is both former board members of the Western New York Peace Center. Talia is still our coordinator for the Women's March. Kareema is still on our committee, of the Women's March. I'm keeping y'all. I don't care what y'all doing in the future. Y'all staying on the committee. That's just how
Okay.
it is. There's no choices. Sorry.
Co-laborers in this Women's March. That's what we
Yes.
are.
So welcome, you two. And so I want to get right into it. So what intentions and values we want to bring to the table? Anybody can go first.
I want to bring peace. We're doing Pursue Peace in Purple.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring peace and restoration.
Mm. Yes, ma'am. Talia?
I was going to say, one, I think both of those are amazing, Kareema. And two, I was going to say collective action. I think I always get excited when I look out on the crowd and looking at all the different people from all different places. Maybe they don't agree, but they're all there creating space for each other and for the energy of bringing peace. So I think that's super cool when that moment kind of happens.
Yes, most definitely. Agreed. Peace, collective action, restoration, purpose. I think that sometimes we can lose focus on our purpose. Sometimes we can ask ourselves, does this matter? Is anybody listening? And sometimes, just as activists and people that want to change the world, it seems like, are we making a difference? Sometimes you can get discouraged, So, so I want to bring in purpose and positivity because we can get so discouraged in this world with so much, so much to do. And it seems like so much, so little time. But so.
I'm sorry, one more because
ahead.
Dr. Ross would not let this one.
Yes.
I can hear solidarity.
Yes, solidarity. Yes. Because, it takes a lot. It takes a lot, to get there, and sometimes people think, we just have the same idea, or, you want peace, I want peace, we're great. No. We got to talk about it. We got to research. We got to make sure we are really on the same page, and can we get on the same page for maybe a couple of things that we are wanting to change, in the immediate. And I think that that's great when groups and individuals can do that. So why do we march? I think that because I've been asking, kind of asking myself this lately. Why do you think marches or walks and so on are important?
Want me to go?
Go ahead, Kareema. Yeah.
Okay, for us, we're marching in silence as a response to the domestic violence that takes place in our community. And often people only acknowledge that it happens or it's only brought to awareness in October. So we're a constant reminder that somewhere someone is going through domestic violence, whether it's children from their parents, whether it's intimate partner violence, which isn't physical most times, but through the phone, you get text messages. There's just so many levels of intimate partner violence and domestic violence. So we want people to know that we exist. We're here to reinforce the resources that are supposed to be here to help us. And it's sad to say we don't really have that in our East Buffalo community as we should. Sometimes our reports are often denied by the people who are supposed to protect and serve us. Sometimes we don't have support from our friends and family because they want to know, why are you still there? So we want to be a present, monthly, in your face reminder. We don't have to say anything. We're standing here in our purple, our royalty, to draping in royalty to let you know we have purpose and we will be here as a resource. So the silent march is always just in response to those things to let people know that we're here, we exist, and we want to help.
And let's give some dates too. So this coming Saturday. Now, when some of you hear this on WBNY 91.3 FM, shout out. And thank you, Richard Wicca, our producer. Shout
Thank you
out.
so much.
That's just, he works so well together for us. So March 25th, we'll be having Bury the Violence is hosting Pursue Peace Walk
In purple. Yep.
in Purple. And where will that be? And what time?
We're going to meet on the stairs of City Hall.
Okay. All right.
Yes. It'll be Saturday morning, 9:45. We're going to assemble. We're only going to be there an hour. You can bring your signs, capes. I got my purple cape, my purple sunglasses. Wear your purple jacket if it's cold, your purple head wrap, your purple wig, your purple braids. Purple is a color of royalty, and we are coming to claim back those things that we forget about when we go through our hardships with people that we feel that we have relationship with. So yes, it'll be that Saturday, the 25th.
Yes. The 25th. Yes. Yes. So Pursue Peace. And I love what you're doing. And I love that you're doing it monthly.
Yes.
And the Western New York Peace Center is also co-sponsoring this event.
Yes, thank you so much.
Like I said, it's been on my heart too. And, we were kind of building on the Orange the World campaign. So, we'll try to, just work together more cohesively with you on that topic of domestic violence, because, that's something that's dear to us as well.
Yes.
Now,
can I just add, you did say so every month, every third Saturday, we will be in the same place.
Okay.
Until they tell us anything differently.
Okay.
But follow us at btvbuffalo.org for more information on our Pursue Peace in Purple, for any updates, changes, or you can text silent to 716-703-8771, and we'll give you location information.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And you know what? Can I throw out there too? 211 is one of the best kept secrets. I think it's getting out there more to help people find just resources in general, whether it's for domestic violence, whether it's homelessness, whether it's food. It's a good, just general community service connector. So, I just want to put that out there as well. We can't remember all, different numbers, like 211 will help, get the job, will help us get the job done, I hope.
That's the resource 911. It populates to wherever you're calling from.
Okay.
So if you call from Ohio, you'll get an Ohio 211 representative.
Wonderful. Yes. So, so that's great. Now, the other thing with marching, I was thinking about it. I said, even though marching doesn't necessarily change legislation right away or a law right away, what it does is make us aware, make people in community and legislature, aware of the issues that are important to us, and sometimes people are not aware of how many others feel the same way, as we do about an issue or subject. When we did the march in 2017, the Women's March here in Buffalo in 2017, when, Trump came in office, I would say it was an estimated of 4,000 people, that came out downtown that said, we are not going to take this. 4,000 people, all and that's only in Buffalo. And that was I think was the largest probably in Buffalo's history of protests, but this happened all over the states, at the time, people, women and men were coming out of the door saying, we're not going to take this anymore. And, and it made a stance, it made a difference. So we want to continue this legacy. So the Western New York Peace Center is holding our annual Women's March on the 26th of March. And at 1 p.m., we'll meet at Niagara Square, and we're going to walk on the sidewalks down Court Street to the Central Library, and we're going to have our program in the library where it's warm in March. I'm not as brave as Kareema right now.
1 hour.
But we will march. We're just going to keep moving so, we can, keep warm. But we'll have the rest of our program in the library. And we are proud to say that the Central Library, Erie County Library, is a partner with us. And, Kareema and Talia will be speaking there. I want you all to come out and listen to what they have to say. Talia, what do you remember about your first Women's March?
I remember the conscious decision to wear stilettos. And I was like, I need to let people know, like, when they look at me, who I am. And stilettos were involved, as was. I got my hair pressed. I was like, okay, we're going to do this. I did not prepare Kareema, and I went down there, and I think that moment changed my life. It was exactly 3 minutes. But I wanted to answer your question. I know I was talking to my little guy before. I feel like part of the reason that marches are so important is because they're the physical demonstration of like the people's will, and the privilege to march is like so important. Like, having our sisters talk about the peace that they're trying to bring in Iran to other women who don't have the privilege to march. Like, I feel like I want to be out there, like Kareema said, in solidarity with them, to be like, okay, you can't, but I will for you, kind of thing. And I think you've put together a powerful agenda, Kareema. Thank you so much for speaking. And I'm just really excited.
Wow, that's wonderful. Go ahead, Kareema.
Oh, no, I was just telling Talia, thank you. I can't believe that's because she brings so much to the space.
Yes, she said.
Wanted me to say more? Don't do that to me.
Don't
do that to me.
Yes, you do.
Both have heard the story of my grandma, but honestly, I was just talking to my son, and I think it's important that you also build a space for that cooperative democracy to be in action, right? So I love seeing like grandmas and young children and babies there and pregnant women and it just people from all walks of life, because I feel like it's something that can physically bond us, but also from an ableist perspective, like you are really good about making sure that we have space that's accessible to everyone. And I wanted us to freeze, but you are way more sensitive than I am. So thank you for thinking about that. And I think it's definitely something I've been a little bit more hyper aware of, but I'm so excited to speak. And I think it's going to be something that's going to be really transformative.
Yeah. I am getting I get worried more than excited at first, so now I'm getting excited, but I was very worried last few weeks. So now I'm getting excited. Things are, shaping up. And, Talia, do you have the roster of our speaker list?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I can pull.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Because we have, like I said, Kareema speaking. She's going to talk about well, tell us what you're going to talk about, Kareema. You right here.
No. I don't know. I think about our mission statement. We have a mission to the walk. And I don't know if Talia was going to talk about that or not. But when I say I want to say the Women's March, let me get my verbiage together.
Mm-hmm. No,
And
wonderful.
The Women's March for Buffalo, New York. It's to oppose all forms of oppression and seek to increase equity and equality for women and all oppressed people. Yeah. That's major. Yeah. That's a huge spectrum. And then the city within our own communities of how we assist people, we're oppressed. Yeah. So it's, women against women, the men against it's just so crazy. And so we're going to stand for equality and equity in those spaces. Yes. That's a huge task. So I wanted to tackle that mission statement because when I read it over, I was like,
It's always good to refresh. And I
Yeah,
think,
it's a tall to do.
yeah, it is. And,
it is.
I don't, you try to get to so many different things in a march. You only have like at the most 2 hours to try to talk about everything. And we can't talk about everything, right? We can't,
No,
accomplish everything. But, just hitting out like 3 big points, and just saying, okay, we're going to focus on that this year. The next year we'll focus on something else, but like let's focus here and see what we can change,
I think the mission is major because we have so
Yeah.
many speakers sometimes, and
Yeah.
sometimes things get a little distorted. I want people to clearly know why you're here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we stand in the cold and chit chat happens. We
Yeah.
need to know why we're here and what we're standing in solidarity for.
That's
And so
right.
that mission statement, if we could just bite off the first 2 sentences, it's huge. It speaks volumes.
It's done, Miss Kareema. We'll definitely go over that on Sunday.
Yes.
I was
That's it.
going to say, Kareema, thank you for centering that. And I think one of the things that's been powerful for me is framing it around the environmental justice and the sustainability. We lost a lot of our sisters in Puerto Rico due to domestic violence. There's a lot of tension in the island because of global climate change. And I think 10 million of us have left recently. So I think, or no, excuse me, I'm bad. There's 10 million of us total. There's 500,000 of us that left recently. So with all of that, like shifting, a lot of it is around environmental reasons why we've left. So it's been so nice to be able to tell my community, no, this applies to us. Like this is our turn. Tell our stories about Maria, what you survived, what you ate, how you waited for FEMA. Like those voices are here now, so I'm so excited that, and I'm getting goosebumps. I'm so excited that it was framed around environmental justice and having our Native American sisters. Jill is going to be there, and also Jill, our poet. I always call her Jill, our poet, to have like poetry and to have different things that really stimulate the mind and performances. I'm really excited about your agenda.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to say my agenda, it's our agenda, because
Which I have pulled up in case.
it took a village to make this happen, okay? It takes solidarity to make this happen. I'm really excited about you talking about that on Sunday, Talia, because it's important to me that women's voices, people's voices, period, but voices of the oppressed are heard themselves, and sometimes it's hard. Like Kareema says, we're marching, and you have said that we're marching for those who may not be able to, whether it's physically, whether their government, restrains them, whether they are getting killed, like in Iran, for marching. Babies, teenagers, young women, 12, 13, 15, have gotten killed for marching for what they believe in.
Boys and girls, they're saying. I'm not sure what's true, but that's what I saw.
So, we can talk about America and we know all the, the evils that exist. But one thing that is guaranteed to us is this right to speak and this right to assemble. Okay.
Yes.
And so we can't take that for granted. Let's use our voices for our sisters around the world for their rights. So, we're going to focus on international women's rights, on environmental sustainability, and on negotiation and peace in war-torn countries. And understanding how all those kinds of things connect. They're all connected. Even domestic violence is connected with war. Rape is, has so much connection with war. Okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, when I was studying political science, I went to an amazing school, but I wanted to talk about that part of war. I remember one of my professors saying, like, well, we don't talk about that. That's not part of the strategy. And I'm like, yeah, terrorizing
It's a part of the
civilians is
strategy.
definitely part of the strategy. So thank you for acknowledging that and for bringing us all together in that way. I love to see you in front with your microphone. I'm so excited.
I
Kareema,
know, right?
you as well. Like, I just love the energy. So thank you for centering on that because it's really important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Have
Yeah.
crossbody headset. Mic check. 1, 2.
My check. I hope it works. I got to start charging it.
Please
I hope it do
do.
work.
I told
Huh?
you I would carry your speaker. I told you that. I was like, I will carry your speaker. Just let me know.
You know, it's one of those that go around your
You got
head,
the bag for it. Don't worry.
a little amplified
It's crossbody.
crossbody, right? So hopefully it'll work out. I'm hoping everything will work out. I have to do some mic checks this week before Sunday. I want to get shirts. I don't have any shirts, you know, but that's okay. That's okay. We're wearing green. So make sure everybody wear green. We're wearing green for, you know, the environment. That's also one of the, you know, peace colors, you know, along with blue. And so we're wearing green this year, you know, for peace and for, you know, tranquility, for connection with the environment. So make sure y'all wear green when you come out. You got to get your green shirt, Kareema.
Oh, I have green. All things green. I was born in August. Everything I have is green. Camo, get it.
Yes, yes. So I'm looking forward to that. I got to figure out what I have green, but I'll find it.
I'll bring you some.
You know what I'm saying?
Deidra, I was so excited. I was talking to the Attorney General. I wanted to reflect on the fact that she visited us last time.
Yes,
So I found out she's a great hugger and like just how exciting your leadership is and Kareema's leadership is, because sometimes I forget like your leadership and our leadership, we're the epicenter for an entire region. And I think about that very seriously, you know, like people out in our first ring suburbs or in our rural communities, I know they drive in to join us. So just really wanting to lift that up and say how exciting both of you are when you build these spaces.
Yes, yes, you're so correct that people do drive in. And sometimes Niagara Falls may have, you know, their own march as well because of, you know, our history is so much of a rich history here.
Right, I didn't know.
And the
The
first,
indigenous community is huge there.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
and you know what's interesting too? We just did a talking piece. I mean, not talking piece. I'm sorry, that's on my mind. A talking circle.
Okay.
At the Niagara Falls, not the Niagara Falls Community Services Community Center, and Jill Claus, which will also be doing our Thanksgiving, and will be teaching us the Strong Woman song, Haudenosaunee Strong Woman song, and so on at the march. So she conducted the talking circle. And she shows a wonderful video. I think they also showed the same video in another school a couple of weeks ago. But it talks about how when European women came over here and they began to see, especially in New York State, they began to see how the Haudenosaunee women, their power of their vote for their leadership, and how the women voted for the leadership for, you know, whatever man or what have you, they had to go through what the elder women, you know, had to say, you know, and their, what do you call it? Their voice was respected, it was heard, and it was needed, it was essential in order for that person to lead. So when these women, and it's a video about Mama Bear, which is a elder. She's an elder indigenous mother. When she was teaching, you know, this European woman about what, you know, the history of the Haudenosaunee, and so what's so interesting about this is as they saw how the women had a voice, they began to see, hey, we can have a voice too here in America. You know, we're no longer in Europe, you know, we know, but you know what, this is before the Constitution. This is before all that, you know, and saying that we can, you know, we can have a voice. And this began the start of the struggle for women's rights here in the United States of America, you know, because it has always been a, you know, revolt struggles and throughout the world.
And Deidra, I was going to say, didn't the NAACP, like some of the first meetings that set the foundation for the first NAACP start here in this region? So I just think, like you were acknowledging before, the rich history of people who've come out, like physically shown up. And I feel like everybody wakes up that morning and they think, am I going to make a difference if I go? And everybody who gets up and goes does. Every single person. And I've asked myself that before. Even that day, I was so scared, Deidra. I had no idea what I was going to say. And I was like, should I go? And I was like, just go. Like, get your side and go.
Yeah, I think my first time, I shouted everything. I shouted everything in the mic.
Oh, God.
Sometimes it just feels good to be in solidarity with other people who are excited.
It does, and everybody was like, yeah.
Yeah,
we had a great time.
Yeah, definitely. I love the idea that you were centering the conversation around Niagara Falls. I know that was a huge place of reflection for our Indigenous community, but just also like bringing to light our Indigenous women who in South America are fighting right now for their literal physical like environment. So like there are a lot of South American Indigenous women, one of which I just saw announce a candidacy that, you know, are just leading and just going first. So I think it's so cool that we called it international solidarity, because it just kind of brings all that together.
Well, that's wonderful. And you know, that's why I love you all, because y'all just bring so much wonderful, rich information to the table. And I want to hear more about that on Sunday. And audience, make sure you come out to hear more about our Latino, Latinx, Latina, you know, community, and what they're going through, and what, you know,
and
what
Deidra,
they're doing in leadership.
Yeah, to your point, Deidra, and as a compliment to your leadership, if anyone's from that community and wants to have a conversation about speaking or about doing something simultaneously, or about having their voice be heard, you can take my spot. I mean, I think Deidra and Vicky have shown me one of the most powerful things you can do is help someone find their voice. So if anyone from my community wants to come out, or any other community wants to talk about what that experience is like, always, you know, I'm sure Deidre's going to make sure that I only have 2 minutes, and everybody else, she's like going to be like, Talia, don't play with me. But you can take my 2 minutes if you have something to say. Kareema, back me up on this. It is wonderful.
45 seconds is all I need. I'm sharing too.
So 45, just count, just 45. Behind me. Yes. And we have, let's go down the roster, you know, some more. I know we have Miss Nadia Sharam from Iran will be speaking about freedom for Iran and the movement there to change the government altogether. It's not just about women's rights in Iran. They are ready for a completely new system of government. And so we want her to speak, or she'll be speaking on Sunday. And who else do we have, Talia?
So what I have here on the list is Ebony White from the Buffalo Center for Health Equity. Did you want to say a little bit about Ebony?
No. Go ahead.
Jill, the city's poet, which is soon going to be her last name. I love
Jillian Hainsworth, yes.
Yeah, Jillian Hainsworth, but I call her the city's poet. Yes. Dawn Wells Clyburn from Push Buffalo.
The new executive director of Push Buffalo.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
And then Kelly Camacho, who I'm really excited about. There's some narratives that are being read about the Afghan community. Vet is speaking, Vet Green. I'm so excited about that. Jill Claus is also performing. So there's going to be performances and poetry and speaking all happening fluidly. So I'm just really excited. I know you're doing the introduction, and somewhere in here I will be saying something. Also, Valerie from the West New York Youth Climate Council. So I'm excited about women's rights.
Any dancing, Deidra, so I can wear my shoes the right
Say it again.
Any dancing?
For
Maybe.
some, I will not.
I'm hoping to have an Iranian dance. I still got to confirm, but I witnessed. I forgot the type of dance it is, so I'm not gonna butcher it, the name or anything. But it's a traditional Iranian dance. It's beautiful. I've witnessed it before at one of Nadia's functions, and I'm hoping to have that again. Now I think what you're talking about is some African drumming.
Oh, I seen Raj Jamo is
dancing.
on the list.
Uh-huh.
So I'm assuming that's just gonna happen. That's not gonna be
Right.
I feel like that has
Right.
to happen for it to feel like a Buffalo space. Like,
right. It's
as
gonna
like
happen.
started.
Yeah, right.
I was also going to say, I forgot Ayana JC, who's talking about MMIWG2S, which is Missing Murdered Indigenous Girls and Women's and Two Spirits.
Yes.
I'm so excited to hear her voice. And also Dr. Raja about the effects of war-torn Kashmir on women and families.
Yes.
So, we just have community organizers, PhDs, young people, people with experience, like dancers, everybody, like everyone. I'm so excited.
Yes, me too. Me too. And we also have video from a young lady. Is it Afghan or Afghanistan or?
And then one that is currently or had to flee to South America or Brazil, I believe. So she lent her voice to be heard in Buffalo, which I think is so powerful.
She wrote a letter. Is this the one that wrote the letter?
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Wow.
So her letter will be read by our Victory Ross, our current board chair and all around peace activist, and always just wonderful with the Peace Center and just our just ally for all of our organizations, for Buried in Violence, for the Peace Center. She's in Albany right now, doing what she do best. And so, we love Victory Ross. That's what she goes by now, not Vicky, but Victory.
I love it.
Okay.
Okay, just
Shout
Dr.
out.
Ross for me, but Victory it is.
Yes.
No, Kareema, I love that you called her that. I was like, yeah.
I go to her college graduations. What do you mean? She earned that.
I know.
I'm like, yeah, Dr. Ross.
I love like our mutual admiration around the women leaders here.
Yes.
And like, it's just been amazing for me to say, I grew up in it, to see amazing people support each other so that their leadership blossoms. So I'm just going to be like carrying the microphone and clapping. I know 716 Live, because Vet is coming. Jay hopefully should be there covering. And I'm just really excited about capturing the moment too, because that's something that is really special.
Yes,
Huge, and Jay does a great job.
And who does a great job? Who did you say?
So
Jay.
Is that 716?
Yeah, so they are part of the platform where I share our podcast, and also where Vat has part of her projects, because she's on multiple platforms in multiple cities. But what I love best about them is they are in the city and locally owned. So they'll be out. Jay's an amazing photographer. I encouraged him to bring Mouse, who's his daughter, who is equally as talented. She's 9, but don't worry about it. She's very talented. So just being able to have her and other people from my other communities join us, I think is really cool. And thank you for making space for all of us in the agenda. But also, I'm here to support anyone. So if you two need anything, or anyone in the audience, or pictures, signs, whatever, I'm excited to be in a support role.
Yes. And if you can tell us, we will be on a morning show on Friday. Can you tell a little bit more about that so people can tune in?
It's really all about you, Deidra. They want Deidra. They want Deidra to talk about her amazing work. And Kareema, this feeling, definitely being recognized nationally in the media, if I can remind those who are just joining us now. But we're going to be, I think, on Channel 4 with Chelsea, who's amazing. And I get to see her compete with Miss Buffalo. So she's just like multi-talented, faceted, wonderful reporter, journalist. We're going to be there in the morning. Victory. talking about the opportunity and just really, I think, delving into, like you said, like what energy are we hoping to bring, and kind of, as we are inviting people forward and asking them for their help. So I'm excited about that feature and grateful that you let me go on Channel 4 today, even though they wanted you, not me. And Kareema, I'm calling her like, I don't think I did good. Did you even see me? And she's like, you did.
Talia, it's not in you to do anything else but great. I haven't seen.
I don't know because I didn't see myself. So, you never know.
We're live. We'll talk about that later.
That's right. That's right.
You got that. Trust and believe.
And just wonderful speakers. I think you both just speak so eloquently.
Thank
And I hope to, just get there, get there. So I'm excited about, about Friday. It's just about, when your mind is on just doing the work, you just like, I appreciate, doing an interview or something like that, but I'm trying to get this done, or but that's a part of it, just getting the word out there, saying this is what we're doing, come out, not to lift ourselves up, but to really lift up these issues that we care so much about, and we look at the word violence, all these, different things that we're marching for is against violence. And violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional. Poverty is violence. You have women. I was just, I'm working on some flyers, some informational flyers. You have women around the world that have the right to vote, but they get so harassed and they have so many red tape around them that they can't utilize that right to vote. That's violence. That's violence to have something, rules and laws on paper that are not being enforced to protect women. Women's rights are human rights, and human rights are women's rights. And this is why we march, so this is what drives me, right now. And I just can't wait. We also be tabling. We'll have, for the first time in our march's history, we'll have tabling with different organizations able to, just share the information. So we still have some tables open. So if you're listening right now on Facebook or Twitch, what have you, like to table, let us know. For more information, make sure you go to wnypeace.org regarding the Women's March on Sunday. And again, Kareema, for people to learn more about Pursue Peace.
Yes, you can text 716-703-8771. You could text the hashtag silent, or you could just go to our website, BTV, like Bury the Violence, buffalo.org. Deidra, can I just say something?
Yes.
When you were talking about types of violence, we got social, economical, and then how women have the disparities in health care. That's another form of violence, because we lose our lives going to do something like take care of our bodies with a professional and are slighted due to whatever reasons they do it. So it's so many different things that we stand in proxy of the voiceless and those who have left us due to those horrific acts of people who are selfish. So our finances in the workplace, it's just so many.
Yes, so many forms of violence, and
so many forms that I couldn't just let those
people think about, physical, brutality, physical, but it's so many forms of it, and a lot of many forms happen over time, and where you miss it, or even like you said, the wage gap, not getting, that is a form of violence, because now you're taking food out of my mouth and my children's mouth.
Yeah.
But that, you don't see that gap, but over, in 10 years now, the gap has clothes just a little bit more. But wait a
And
minute.
add inflation.
And yes.
And the physical impact to our bodies, especially Latinas, like the stuff they want us to do for that amount of, like, what they want people to carry in the field, what some of these little girls are carrying, food, Deidra, on their bodies, like to get I'm just like, that is an impact on their lives.
Lung diseases from the pesticides. As many migrant families, that come back and forth to deal with our agriculture, to give us our strawberries that we have in the grocery store, our blueberries. People have to pick those by hand. Those are not picked by machines because of the type of fruit. It can be damaged. That has to be picked by hand, and people are not getting paid their worth to do.
We take so much for granted.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But we must stand for them. We must stand for them and make sure that they do get fed, make sure that they do have safe spaces to live, and to work. Because they may not be from here doesn't mean they're less human.
Right.
So we're walking for human rights. We're marching for human rights. And I just want to just thank you both for just being on with me tonight, today.
Thanks for having us. Well, me.
Yeah, I know you all have work to do.
Yeah. Oh, I just wanted to say, and I have to in this space, and both of you know me, my explicit support for our trans sisters, how I want to bring attention to their physical plight. People like Sylvia Rodriquez, other amazing Black individuals who have led civil rights and the disabilities, and also for our trans women, like how excited I am to write about someone from the trans community, part of Latina History in April, and just standing in solidarity with all people, but me, because Deidra mentioned, and I think, or no, sorry, Kareema mentioned, and I get excited when I talk about this topic, but health policy as part of our oppression. And I think specifically of my trans sisters and how people want us to have our government dollars subsidize policies that I think reflect eugenics. And that scares me, being that eugenics and part of those eugenics clinics originated both in Harlem and in Puerto Rico. So, we know our history, and I just want to be really careful to make space to acknowledge them, Deidra, as you always do, make space for everyone. I've learned that from you and Victory, and just give a note to my explicit support, because I think it's something that's important.
Oh, it's already. Talia. For the USA Today Women of the Year project, they do have trans nominees and things like that. So you can go on to that link, and at the end of the show you how to nominate.
Well, I'm biased. I just want to celebrate you right now, Kareema. Like I know,
but I want to make sure that
no. I want to say
space.
You had an article about an article, and I was like, what magazine, what newspaper is this from that another newspaper covered you? So definitely wanting to nominate people, please guide me, but always wanting to bring it back to how proud I am that you're representing Buffalo. And
thank you. Yes.
Big, like national.
Thank you.
Yeah. I feel so much. So cool just being your friend, Kareema.
Hey, and I'm honored to have great sisters, because somebody put my name on that paper and or into that thing, and out of all the New York State, come on, I just bless God. Yes.
And do we have the only female deputy mayor who's Latina? I think Crystal is the only, I'm not sure, but I feel like we have a lot to celebrate here, both of your leadership and also Deputy Mayor Rodriguez Dabney, having her in a leadership position, an executive position, is super cool too. So lots to celebrate, I think. Oh, and the governor's female, things are looking up.
Yeah. And a few years ago, I think it was 2019, one of our goals was to see more women in governing bodies, locally. Here. Buffalo, the county, and the state. That was one of our goals,
Look at this upcoming election.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
And they're not in competition, they're for the community. So they're here to serve and not compete. And I love it.
That's right. And it takes courage. I showed my son, like one of the little stones that had the words on it. And, I just happened to pass by. I said, hey, I said, Solomon said, this is what we need right here, courage. And that's what we need. Come out, out in the cold. Hopefully it'll be decent this weekend.
It's gonna be warmer than last year.
Have courage. Last year we were in May.
Well, I just had a flashback of me wearing Converse. It's going to be warmer than the last time we were out in the winter, I will say, because it was cold that day.
It was very windy. Yes.
We won't be stuck on the bridge either.
Right.
Thank you, Kareema, for mentioning that. I was going to say the determination of our marchers, but also wanting to acknowledge the Hispanic Women's League, Maria, who was out there with us. I texted Maria, from the president of the Hispanic Women's League. I was like, you're on our flyer. She was like, you are too. And I did a close up and there I am. And I just know it's behind me. And I just wanted to say, amazing team that we have. Both wanted to acknowledge Shayna and Nicole and all of the people who support you and your work, Deidra, including your son and Kareema, your whole family, because there's so many people behind our great leaders that help us get here. So I think I mentioned everyone in our office, but if I missed anyone, as well as our board members, thank you for getting us here.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for our committees. We can't do it without our volunteers. I'm telling you, we can't do it. Well, thank you, ladies, for, talking with me on Talking Peace. And we have been talking peace with the Western New York Peace Center and Bury the Violence.
Yes.
And our Talia has a couple of podcasts. I want you to throw those out there and how people can learn more about.
You just say what you do.
No, yeah, I want to throw that out real quick, and then we'll.
I'm so bad. Okay, so I'm on 91.3 on Friday mornings. I have the privilege of interviewing partners, alumni, part of our Buffalo State community, Buffalo State University, Bengals Roar. I love that. Richard, thank you for helping me get to that space, also trained in this space. And then I'm on 716 Live. We're Tuesday every other week. And we are talking in community with a lot of other people. Talia from Buffalo, Saturday Night Live, just a lot of people from media, a lot of people from my generation who are doing creative things, sneak vibing, just like amazing blogs and people.
Sneak
and
vibing.
Yeah, she's amazing, top 100. If you get on that list, you're special. But also just wanting to also acknowledge the amazing community that I'm part of with Latina Herstory. So if you're looking for me, you can find me on Instagram at Soy Talia, or you can find me on Facebook, Talia Rodriquez. But thank you to you for giving me that space, because I never plug the spaces. But if you're a Black and Brown business owner and you want to be on radio or on podcast, please get a hold of me. And Kareema, your invitation stands, and Deidra, I begged you.
Yes, ma'am. I'll put that on my schedule.
Yes, thank you. Please add it. But in all seriousness, thank you for allowing me to be here. And I know my little guy's calling me, but he should be out there with us on Sunday. If not, I'm going to have him at least make a sign.
That's wonderful. Yes, we will have children's space. So bring your little ones, bring your children out. We do have a children's space for the women's history. So activities and so on to learn more about women's history for your youth. This is a family event. Thank you too for being on with us. And until next time, we have been talking peace in truth and in love. Thank you. So we are now done, ladies. And when Richard comes back, he'll complete the, all the social media. So thank you, ladies, for being on with me. I really do.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So y'all have a great night, and I'll see y'all this weekend.
Okay. See you this weekend. Love y'all. See y'all soon.
Love y'all.
All right. Bye-bye.